It's easy to feel like the world is passing you by, like everyone around you is succeeding, and you're stuck, just banging your head against the wall time and time again. It's a new year, January 2022. Everybody's talking about getting after it. They're stoked. Off to hustle and grind, off to make some bank, get fit, chase girls, and you're still stuck in the same place you always were. Not taking action, not following through, giving up on your hopes and dreams. And unfortunately, the reality is that you're probably going to stay stuck until you do the deeper work to stop fighting yourself and get the hell out of your own way. Look, often our problem isn't that we don't know what to do. The internet's full of all kinds of information. Spend half an hour on YouTube becoming an expert in pretty much anything. Sales, marketing, fitness, diet, internet stuff, coding. You want to become a programmer, you want to do crypto. You want to become a doctor. All that stuff is out there. Everybody's selling courses on how to get ahead in life, how to hustle and grind, how to meditate, how to get your more discipline, taking cold showers and all that kind of jazz. The information out there is endless. You probably already know everything you need to do to get to where you want to be in life. The bigger problem that a lot of us face, myself included, is that even though we know all those things, even though we're in all the masterminds and all the private groups, even though we're taking coaching, we're still not actually taking action. We're not following through. We're afraid to try. We're stuck in anxiety, fear. We're distracting ourselves with internet, Twitter, YouTube, maybe porn or video games. Maybe we just spend way too many nights out drinking way too much. Holding ourselves back. We're not allowing ourselves to try. Not allowing ourselves to really commit, really follow through, really take action. The way that, if we did, probably get to where we want to go. Now, there's a reason for this. The reason is that your unconscious mind, for whatever reason, isn't on board with your plan. It's fighting you every step of the way. It's throwing roadblocks of all kinds. Sapping your willpower, distracting you, screwing with you in whatever way it needs to keep you stuck. And often, if you're like me, if you've been through some dark times in your life, if you've met failure after failure before, if you've given up before, in a lot of ways, your unconscious mind sees trying one more time, really putting yourself out there, really taking that action, sees it as dangerous. Because if you try and you fail, it can be afraid that, well, that's just going to prove to you all that negative stuff you thought about yourself is true, that you don't really deserve it, that you're not really capable, that you can't really get to where you want to be, that for some reason that stuff's just off limits to you. If you prove to yourself once and for all that that's true, well, then you might just give up completely. Some people even choose to take that permanent solution to a temporary problem. Back in September 21, I took some hypnosis training from a guy named Mark Cunningham. He's a colorful figure. And he told me a phrase, or taught me a phrase, that I'm probably never going to forget. If you're not dead, you can't quit. If you're still breathing, you've got options. Now, he came up with this phrase while he was adventuring in Southeast Asia in the early 70s. Make of that what you will. And in that environment, in a wartime environment, giving up is really not an option, because then giving up really is death. And so you do have to keep trying in the face of insurmountable odds. In a world like we're in now, where death isn't really around every corner, that doesn't mean that fear is not there. Doesn't mean that fear that giving up equals death isn't there, especially in your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind exists to keep you breathing. It doesn't really necessarily care if you're happy. Its job is to keep you on this planet. And so often we can be stuck when trying and failing becomes that dangerous, when trying and failing could really prove to ourselves some really, really negative stuff we've been carrying around for a long time, that story that's been running in the back of your head for so long about who you are, who you really are, and how the world really works, proves that thing true. It's going to be easy to want to give up. It's going to be easy to want to take that permanent solution to that temporary problem. But fundamentally, it doesn't have to be the truth. Because odds are that story you're telling yourself isn't actually true. Odds are it's just a story. Just an interpretation of the events of your past you've been carrying around for way too long. And the reality is, sometimes even when you've done a lot of hard work, when you've been to therapy, you've done a bunch of coaching, you understand your past in a new way. You've come to terms, in a lot of ways, with the broken childhood home, with the emotional, the physical, the sexual abuse you've endured. When you come to terms and understand that that stuff wasn't your fault, at least on a conscious level, that doesn't actually change the story that's running in the back of your head. It doesn't make it safe now to try. And I'll give you an example that one of my clients is facing. He's in the medical field. He came to me to do some work on getting ahead in his career. Wanted to do better in his career, make some more money, get advanced, have some more options, right? We did a couple sessions, and after that, he was good to go. We'd already gotten out of the way a lot of the stories he told himself about not being good enough, about not being deserving. Right? He was off to conquer the world. Then a couple days later, he books another session with me. I'm trying to figure out why he's back. I thought we fixed things. Well, it turns out that whenever he was going through medical school, he got zeroed out. He was failing at school, girlfriend left him, life was falling apart, sticks a gun in his mouth, right? Gets close to that permanent solution, right? And so as a result, his unconscious mind drew the very logical conclusion that, hey, if he tries to get ahead and he fails, well, then he's going to feel like a loser. He's going to feel like he can't actually have that, like it doesn't actually deserve it, like all that work he'd done is all bullshit. And if that's the case, then got him out time again. So whenever he went to go start doing some recertification tests online for simple stuff like CPR, things he'd done a million times before, he had a full-on panic attack because it was that dangerous for him to try. So his unconscious mind pulled out all the stops to keep him from getting ahead, to keep him from doing the things he needed to do to get ahead. Even in my own life, I spent a lot of 2021 working on the deeper stuff that I've had, all the stuff that I've been carrying around for 46 years. It wasn't until July of 2021 that I actually wanted to be alive. It wasn't until July of 2021 that I actually saw a recent live, that I felt that there was actually things out there in the world good for me, right? There was good things for me. Up until then, I'd just been kind of zenning my way through the world, right? Just taking kind of whatever came my way, making do, not really taking that shot, not really going for what I really wanted. And once that happened, July 2021, once I actually had that realization and did the work to say, okay, yes, I do deserve, I am worthy. This is something I can have in my life. I can make this happen. Oh, things changed. Packed up, left Washington, D.C., moved down to Austin, Texas. Much better environment, much better people. I was stoked. Bought myself a new car, bought an Audi A5, because man, like I deserve that stuff, right? And then I found myself sitting here in Austin, in my apartment, with my thumb up my ass. Not actually going out and socializing like I wanted to, not making the connections I wanted to, not taking the steps in my business that I wanted to, not producing content like this. And that's when I realized that the reason why I wasn't doing that is because there's a part of me that said, well, if you take that shot, if you fail, if you really go for what you want, if you really step it up, if you really try and make those higher levels, and you fail, well, maybe you're right all along. Maybe really you don't deserve it. Maybe really you're not good enough. Safer, just not to try. You're doing good enough, right? I'm making 6 figures. I got a couple girls I'm seeing. You're fine. You're in good enough shape. And that's why I do more work, to resolve that. To make it safe for myself to try. To do the deep work to say, no, it's okay. Even if I try and fail, it doesn't mean shit. That taking that shot, failing, coming up short, mistakes along the way, they don't mean anything about who I am. They don't mean I'm any less deserving. They don't mean I'm any less worthy. They're just lessons, just information, just data. Just shows me the things that I need to do, the things I need to learn, so that I can have those things that I want, so I can take those steps, so that I can make it to where I really want to be. And since that time, things have gotten a lot easier. Business is going well, starting to build content like this, starting to fill the holes in my knowledge that I need to get ahead in business, around marketing, around advertising, right? Things like that. Things I've just never really done before. And now, everything's moving a lot faster. I'm making a lot of connections that I otherwise wouldn't. Starting to meet people that I wouldn't. Relationships are getting better. Because I'm not fighting myself every step of the way. I'm not worried about what things mean if I try and fail. It's safe. It's okay. Taking that shot, miss, doesn't mean shit. Because the cold hard truth is that if you're not dead, you can't quit. If you are still breathing, you've got options. The past doesn't matter. It doesn't. The only thing that matters is what you choose to do next. Now, there's a lot of different ways to address an issue like this, right? I've tried therapy before. I've done a lot of specialized coaching, belief work, and stuff like that. I probably spent $35,000 in 2021 to fix this issue. I think plant medicines, things like psilocybin and LSD and ayahuasca and substances like that can be amazing at helping you get insight, helping you show the things that are holding you back. But for me, the most powerful tool, and the one that I use most, is hypnosis. Because it gives me direct access to your unconscious mind. It gives me direct access to that part of your mind that's holding you back, that's fighting you every step away, that doesn't believe it's safe, that's telling itself whatever story about who you are and how the world works. That means that staying stuck is the safest thing to do. It allows me to make those connections. It allows me to figure out what's going on in the back of your head. Lets us negotiate a better solution, give you a new tool, right? Give you a new story, a story that allows you to win, a story that allows you to take action, a story that allows you to do all the things that you need to do. Once you solve that problem, everything's going to be easier. You're going to be able to leverage all the knowledge that you've got. You're going to be able to use your willpower, your discipline, the motivation that you've already got to actually accomplish things, instead of just putting it off another day and another day and a day after that. Let's make 2022 and the rest of the years to come the best years of your life. I'm here to help. This is what I do for a living. This is my life's calling. My job in life now is to help men like you figure out what's holding you back and get you a better solution. Link to book a call, do an initial consult with me, and figure out how we can best help you, how I can best help you get to where you want to be. That link's below. I look forward to working with you soon.